What's going on, guys? Zuko back with another Shadowlands video. How are you all doing? I hope you're doing very, very well. As you can tell by the title of this video, we have done a plus 21 lower Karazhan, which arguably is the hardest key, I think, in the rotation right now. And so if you guys are struggling with this key, I'm going to show you what we did. I'm also going to show you how much damage we did, and it was pretty bonkers. Look at this damage over here. Sleepa pumping 25k to almost 26k. I did 20k, and I actually died a couple of times in key moments on the fight, and you're going to see that in the video. I probably could have done 22k overall, legitimately. So let me explain to you really quickly my build and what I ran, and then I want to get into the dungeon right away. So you can see my top two damage is going to be Flame Shock, Frost Shock, which is pretty cool, and then Chain Lightning. Here's my stats. I've got about 37. It ends up being almost 40% haste when I Solias somebody who has haste. Okay, I have 44% mastery, 20% crit. This build is a combination of fire and frost, basically. So it's the culmination of all the testing that I've done on the hailstorm type builds, and now I'm weaving in some fire as well because it actually just does more damage. So Lashing Flames, Hot Hands, Hailstorm, that's your core. We're still running Elemental Spirits. I'm still running Witch Doctor, Wolfbones. That's the core of it. Basically, you're casting Frost Shock as much as humanly possible after you use a finisher, right, to get the Hailstorm buff. And your Frost Shocks, I cast it 285 times, by the way. But it just does a colossal amount of damage. Whenever you get a Hot Hand proc, you are tab targeting through enemies to get the Lashing Flames debuff on all of them. That's how it's working, okay? It's raining like crazy outside again, so hopefully the power stays on. Okay? On top of that, I did get a weapon upgrade from all the raiding that we did, so I did have a 291 Vein Ripper, which is pretty sick. And you can see that damage was actually represented right here in the Sadistic Glee. 3% of my damage just from having that weapon. That's an absurd amount of extra damage. So again, I could have actually done more, but I died in a couple of key moments to one-shots, and I messed up, and that's just unfortunate. There's a lot going on in these fights, so that's why I died. But Conduits, I'm running Plague Divisor Marileth, okay, with Chill to the Core, Focus Lightning, Tumbling Waves. On top of that, when I get into the dungeon, I'm taking Mastery as my secondary stack because I'm already going to have 40% haste, and that's more than enough for me. So I'm actually just dumping on Mastery, getting as much as possible so that my Frost damage, my Fire damage, and my Nature damage, which is like all the top damage that I end up doing, right? That's all going to be buffed. So that's the build. Let's jump into the dungeon here. Video review. Where's my webcam? Get back here. Okay, we're going to come over here. This was during the 24-hour stream. If you guys missed the 24-hour stream, I literally just finished it 6 hours ago, and I went to bed for 6 hours, and now I'm back up again. So we had a blast. We had an absolute blast. It was insane. Like, go check out the video. There's a 24-hour. I think it's only 22 hours and 50 minutes on Twitch because the power went out, of course. But it was a 24-hour stream, trust me. Okay, just take my word for it. Okay. Let's get into the video right here. So I'm just going to be going through it. There's the mastery that I pick up right there. But only when it's like my idea, you know? What's really good about this build is that it has good 6-target cleave damage with Hailstorm, okay? So your AoE, you don't have uncapped AoE, but on top of having good 6-target cleave, you have good single target. You can see right now we're out DPSing everybody on single target. We don't even have a hot hand proc. If we get a hot hand proc, it's disgusting. It goes really, really high, okay? So, like, I can get up to 17, 18k single target. Here's a hot hand proc. Watch my damage go up here. 13k, 13.2, 13.5, 13.7. It's going to get past 14 here, I think, at some point. Oh, no, it doesn't. Well, I'm trolling you there. But the point is, you can do a ton of extra damage because of that pivot that we're doing in the talent selection by getting hot hand, by getting Lashing Flames. Your damage is really, really strong on single target. So let's push through here. You want to kill that first mob, then you're going to come to the hallway to the right. You're going to find your first Nathrazim infiltrator. You're going to kill him as well. Okay. Watch out for the pennies. Those red swirlies on the ground will literally one-shot you through like a shield. Then you're going to run down the hallway here. Just so you know, I'm going to show you the pathing. We're running down the hallway. You come here, starting on this next pack, okay? We're blowing them up. Now, at this point, your healer or somebody needs to go start the RP. Go start the RP on the first boss because it takes like a full minute to finish that RP on the Opera House boss fight. You have to go start the RP there, okay? Send somebody to go do that, okay? So there, we're doing damage. Another big packer. This is like perfect 6-target cleave for Hailstorm right here, guys. This is it. This is what I'm talking about. You can see our damage it's just going to keep kind of going up. You got to watch out for the cloud here. Watch out for the damage. I got a hot hand proc, so I'm tab targeting through enemies. We're getting extra damage from hot hand. Okay. Big damage from our Primordial Wave lightning bolts, giving us a huge haste buff. That's why you also don't need to stack haste as your dungeon stacker. You can stack mastery, because not only am I starting with 40% haste, I'm also getting more haste from the Primordial Wave when we're in AoE packs especially, okay? It goes up to like 120% or some absurd number. Eventually, if you do it a little too much, it's like you just actually don't have any room to press any GCDs. Like, it's too fast. So Fatman has already gone and started the Opera Hall RP, so by the time we get here, it's almost done, okay? On with the show. He's saying on with the show by the time we get here, okay? So now we start it. This week is Tony and the Murlocs, right? So you have to fight Tony first and his band of bandits or whatever, and then you go fight the Murlocs, and they have the Bubble Blast. I'm going to get into it right here. So you just want to lust on pull is fine. Again, I'm spreading my dots. We get the wolves out, sundering, and we're going, okay? Big damage here. We're doing 30k right off the hop. Watch out for Burning Leg Sweep. This fight is arguably the most difficult fight in the entire dungeon. I think it is, especially with actually storming. Storming makes this really frustrating. But, I mean, look at the healing that Fatman's already doing 14k HPS just because of the way this is structured. Like, there's so much poison damage. There's so much storming. There's fire damage going out. The Murlocs are waiting to join into the fight here, and we're going to see that in a second. Okay? There, they're in it now. They start casting Bubble Blast. So this needs to be kicked, CC'd, paralyzed, leg swept, Hunter. I don't think you can Hunter trap it. Cap Totem, whatever you can possibly do to stop them from casting Bubble Blast, you need to do. So regular kicks and Cap Totems are really important. Sundering is very good here. I'm going to cast it right here. Boom, I just sundered them all. You want to keep interrupting them. Then they're going to do just an uninterruptible bubble around all your characters. Does a lot of damage. So there's Bubble Blast, and then there's whatever we just got hit with. It's like a thing. Then there's the waves. These waves aren't actually particularly that difficult unless you have storming. It gets very frustrating with storming because you can get literally pumped up into the air and drop right on top of a wave, and you will die because it's a plus 21. So I'm really close to this wave. You want to just navigate these waves as best you can. Get these adds down as best you can. You can see Fatman procced his Onk Totem already, unfortunately, but that's okay. He does a really good job for the rest of the fight. He stays up. Here's the waves once again. Where it's really cramped on spacing here. I'm trying to stay close to the boss to do damage, but it's pretty difficult. There's the waves again.
Yeah, I got knocked up by a storming into a bubble.
Yeah, see, Fatman just said he got knocked up into a storming into like a wave, basically, right? So here we go. Same thing happened to Sleeper there, I think. So there's the waves. Thunder Ritual. Just keep beating him up. I do get knocked up by a storming here eventually. I think I just got to figure out where it is. But you can see we're kind of catching up on damage because our damage will stay consistently high. We don't have like a big amount of burst. It's just basically we live and die by the procs on our hot hand. So our hot hand procs are really just keeping us alive here. Now Tony and the Murloc both come out at the same time. So then I'm going to back up here. I'm going to show you what I died to. I run out of the fire thing here. Then I run in to kill the boss, and I can't see this. There's a wave right here. Like, I couldn't see it, literally. I just couldn't see it.
Oh my fucking god, I couldn't see it.
So this is where I die. One of the times where I die, my damage goes way down, right? I could have had more damage in this fight. But we do end up salvaging this fight and getting the kill, which is the main thing. Again, you're dodging waves, you're dodging fire. It gets extremely hectic with the storming, guys. You have to really watch out for that. You do want to kill Tony first, the fire guy. Kill him first. You can kill the Murloc later. Okay? There we go. Fight's over. You're going to see...
you guys are coming back to me, right? Like, I just need to stay here?
So then this is important. Everybody's going to go die.
Thanks for the sub.
You're going to see subs, guys. This was part of the 24-hour stream, so...
Gifted a tier 1. Thank you very much.
So you're going to see everybody goes and dies here. Joe's dying. Fatman died. The Hunter already died. And Sleepa just died. So they're all dying because we're going to go take a different route. Once you kill that first boss, you unlock the door over here to be able to go and... basically navigate the dungeon in a different way than you might normally have done. So You get to skip a bunch of very, very frustrating and annoying trash that you don't want to have to deal with, okay? Which comes right after that first Opera House boss fight. So now we're going to drop down into Moroes' boss area, the banquet hall, and we're going to clean up all the trash here. Okay, so nothing really special to talk about here. I'm going to skip ahead. We're going to get right to the Moroes boss fight. We actually don't have Lust up, so sorry for the skipping here.
All right, baby.
So Sleepa says we don't have Lust.
Yeah, we got 3 minutes, right?
So that's an important note by Sleepa. So we're just going to keep clearing trash until we get
I think
Lust.
it's a good idea.
We're going to have to clear this trash anyway, so we're just going to go do it. Okay? We pull a bunch of stuff. We blow it all up.
Give you a little
Blah, blah, blah. That's trash. Then our Lust is about 35 seconds. Joe pulls one more pack so we can get our Lust all the way back.
If she's right in front of you. Thanks for bringing that up. That's a traumatic.
Okay, now our Lust is up. We've got traps. Remember with the Moroes boss fight, you need to trap basically 3 out of the 4 bosses. We have 2 of the regular traps and a hunter trap. You can do this with, like, Paralyze. You can do it with, I don't know if you can hex them, actually. I haven't tried that. You probably can. Somebody let me know in the comments. But Freezing Trap works. Then we go to the 3rd trap, and then we're going to pull Moroes plus 1 ad. You want to blow up all of the ads that are here. Don't ever focus Moroes directly. Watch out for Whirlwind. If Moroes gets below, like, 60% of his max health, he just unlocks all of his allies again, and then they all come kill you at the same time. So we kill the first ad, and then Joe pulls the second one down. Joe did such a great job here with the pulls. Really great. Then we blow that ad up. Okay. Then Joe pulls the 3rd ad down. We blow the 3rd ad up. We're just cleaving onto Moroes. Okay. That's all we're really doing. Then Joe pulls the 4th ad. Oh, sorry. There's the 3rd one. Here's the 4th one. We're kicking it.
My kick's down.
Make sure you communicate your kicks because otherwise you might get like one shot by this chick. She's insane. Okay, then you're gonna kill the fourth ad here, and then you can kill Moroes. So that's how you have to do the fight. It looks simple when you just watch a video of it right here. Honestly, it looks kind of simple.
Like, loot is everywhere. Dude.
It's not that simple. It's really just not. It's actually very, very complicated, and you have to make sure you pull it off perfectly. You have a very thin line of margin to mess up on, okay? So that's the Moroes fight. You can see I'm almost doing 20K for that boss fight, almost matching the Beastmaster Hunter. This is how good this build is, guys. You get Hot Hand procs. You also get Frost Shock procs. Look at our damage is going to go back up again here with the Hot Hand proc we just got. It does so much damage. And I'm trying to stand behind the enemy as well so I can get my weapon to be proccing. But my God, guys, this build, I'm top damage now on this boss fight. So that's how much damage this does in single target. You're not going to do as much damage as the Hunters in AoE, but you're going to be pumping single target damage. You're going to be pumping 5 to 6 target cleave damage as well. So we're going to go through into this next room, and we're going to keep pulling this trash. We're going to eventually pull all of this trash. So we're getting some of it done right now. Again, we're kind of waiting on Lust. We're basically just waiting between boss pulls to get Lust back for every single boss. That's the plan. Okay? So in the meantime, we take care of all this trash. You do have to be really careful. There's an important ability here to kick that will take
Jack, what's up, brother?
That will mind control one of your little charm, like somebody on your team. You have to be it's called Oath of Fealty, okay? So you need to make sure you're kicking that. Fat Man did a really good job, but he just told us, I'm going to kick Oath of Fealty. Don't worry about it. You guys kick everything else. Look, I did 34K DPS here. Pretty insane. But make sure Oath of Fealty is kicked. Very important here, or else you will absolutely get wrecked on this pull. Okay? So there's all the trash. Then we're going to head downstairs, and we're going to start cleaning up the horses. We kind of make a critical mistake here of we kill these first 3 horses right here. This is not a critical. But watch out. These horses do a charge ability, and they will charge right into the boss room and pull the boss. You have to be extremely careful. So we run into this room, and this is a mistake right here. We run in here, and we don't pull these ads back to where we just came from, which is exactly what we should have done. So I'm trying to stand at a melee because I have a fire circle, but I end up backpedaling into other mobs, and I end up pulling more mobs than I would want to. Massive mistake on my part, but I was just trying not to share the fire debuff, and it ends up being too much for our team. So what you want to do is just pull these mobs back into the room you just came from, because you will have more room to work with back there, okay? Way more room to work with, okay? So don't make the same mistake we just made. If you're running back to where Moroes' room is, you can just run to this balcony and jump off the balcony, and you'll be right onto the stairs again, okay? I just want to make sure everybody understands that. So you start at the beginning here. You take a left. You go around this circle, okay?
And I just can't get rid of my fire debuff.
Then you're going to go through this door, and you're going to jump over the balcony, okay? There's the balcony right there, and you're going to go down back to the gatehouse, okay? So then we think better of ourselves, and we pull all the mobs into this next room where we just came from, and it's a much smoother pull. We end up getting all the mobs down. Not a big deal. Okay?
Yep.
You do have to clean up all of the ads in this circle around Moroes. All of them need to die,
It's just-
or else
I'm,
you
like,
can pull them into
terrified.
the
Like,
boss
what the
fight.
hell?
Now I get a really unfortunate thing happens here again where I'm doing damage, and then Joe does a good job of pulling. I'm kicking, trampling stuff. Joe does a good job of aiming the horses at the wall here, but for some reason I get hit with a charge right here. Is it right there? Like, look at that. So the horse is literally way over here. He's aiming at the wall, and I die to a charge right here.
Whoa.
So like I don't understand why that happened, but anyway, another unfortunate death from me. Reduced my damage substantially in this pull once again, but that's okay. That's not the end of the world. We're here to make sure that we time this key. One thing that's really important that you can do as an enhancement shaman is kick their cast that they're doing and also use cap totem to stop them from charging. It'll reduce the tank damage substantially. It'll be very, very helpful. So you have to manage these horses as best you can. Be very careful with them because their charge will be a one-shot, as you saw, and they can charge into the boss room if you're tanking them near the boss room. Again, look at our 2-target cleave damage versus everybody else. So we're doing almost 20k. We're doing like 4 to 5k more DPS than everybody else. 5k more DPS right now than everybody else on 2-target cleave. Like, this is where enhancement shaman can really shine, is these lower target areas. So this is the most dangerous pull near Moroes because Moroes is literally right behind us. Not Moroes. Attumen the huntsman. Sorry, I kept saying Moroes. My apologies there. Attumen, this is his room, obviously. He's right behind us. So if these horses charge towards Attumen, they can pull him. So you don't want to do that. Be very, very careful. This pack dies. This is the last pack before Attumen. Again, be very careful. They can charge into the boss room. I would not recommend tanking them here, but Joe is such a Giga Chad that he can just do it all by himself, and he knew exactly what he was doing, so that was fantastic. Again, we're doing over 30k DPS here, guys, on this pull. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 target cleave. We're doing 33k, 34k, almost 35k there. Like, this is the kind of damage you can expect here if you're running this build for these kinds of
Yeah, Drac, try this build.
it's just really good.
Man.
It's just really, really good, guys. I love this build. My favorite way to play Enhancement Shaman by far, and it actually pumps a lot of damage. So, okay. On to Attumen, not Moroes. Now,
Hey, Johnny, this is Witch Doctor Wolfbones.
I'm just explaining to people the build. Okay, here's Attumen. Once again, we have Lust. You want to wait till he jumps off of the horse before popping Lust, okay? He's about to jump off right now. He does one Mighty Stomp. Here we go. He jumps off. Attumen is out. We pop Lust. Now you have to watch out for the horse. Watch for where the horse is charging because it is another one-shot. This dungeon is basically just full of one-shots. And on a storming week, it's particularly frustrating because you get knocked into the air and then you can get hit by the midnight charge. And you'll just be very sad. So, oh, Joe almost dies there. Shared suffering. So I wasn't sure what we were supposed to do. We thought Joe could tank this. Sleepa actually asked Joe, can you tank this? So I walked out thinking he could tank it.
Yep.
Turns out he couldn't. So I end up actually battle resing him right here.
Okay. I got you.
I battle res him right here. I think somebody else actually did. But anyway, we got it through. We kind of recover.
What the fuck
I
is
end up
this?
dying. Again, to a stamp. I get hit by Attumen. Sometimes in the transition period when he is jumping back onto his horse midnight, he'll just like auto somebody. There's like a very tiny blip of time there where he can just auto somebody and die. And that happened to me here. Once again, my damage just goes in the toilet for the rest of this fight because
No, we got one up in what?
because of this stupid. It's just really stupid. It's essentially a bug. It shouldn't happen, but it did.
Okay.
So then I basically say, don't use the res on me.
I'm not sure if you should use it on me. Probably not, actually, is my guess.
Because my damage, again, at this point, it's whatever. I don't care about my
Should we
damage,
save
but
it for Joe or for either the hunters.
the hunters are going to do more damage than me, probably, so we just need to
I
not
think
res
he's
me.
got it, and then I walked out.
So anyway, they do fine.
Could have been frustrating.
They do
Shoot from
perfectly
here,
fine.
and
They end up
take
getting a
single
two-man
target
down.
win for ya.
Okay,
Enemy forces.
Crystallized.
there we go. So we kill him.
Doesn't- He's already right.
My damage is obviously horrific here. Like, if I had regular boss damage here, I could have done 15, 16k boss damage probably, which would have been great. So anyway, we repair,
Huge AoE packs,
go
like,
back up. Oh, let me show you where we went. We go up
That's
here,
more versatility. It's
We've
got
cleared
full,
the
like,
ballroom,
damage.
right? So we
No,
can
it's
run
not
through
as good as
here.
the Fire Nova. Fire Nova's gonna do better. Like,
Then we run up these stairs. Then this is like the last chunk of trash that we have to pull before the hallway towards Maiden, okay? Again, these guys do Oath of Fealty. Have somebody dedicated to kicking Oath of Fealty or you will get wrecked, okay? Very, very important. Again, we're doing 37k, 40k DPS here almost. It's just really, really good. Yeah, I end up doing 40k here. So, going to push through. If you have somebody dedicated to kicking the Oath of Fealty, you can kick things like Shadow Blast or the Rejuvenation that these guys do. Shadow Bolt Volley is another good one to kick. Any damage you can reduce is really, really good for your team. Really helpful. Okay. So let's move forward. We clear all this trash out. I'm going to skip ahead. There's one more hallway here before Maiden of Virtue. You can see we're kind of running out of time. We got 5 minutes and 50 seconds, but that's okay. It's enough. This is the hallway here of Maiden of Virtue. You got to watch out for the sleep puddles. Look, they're kind of hard to see under the carpets and stuff here. I'm just going to keep pushing. Here's the last trash pack before Maiden. Now, we're not done with percentage yet. We're very close. We end up getting at 96%. Then we're going to fight Maiden. Let me show you the Maiden boss fight, okay? So, again, we have 3 minutes left to kill Maiden and do trash. I know it looks like it's not going to be possible, but it is. Because we've got decent damage. Fat Man's doing lots of damage on the Resto Shami, just absolutely pumping.
Yep. Actually, no, give me like 3 minutes. We're at the last boss here.
So again, if you
make
get
sure
the debuff you have to take out of the group, which is not Holy Shock you can kick. It's called Radiance? Sacred Ground. If you get Sacred Ground, take it out of the group. It's going to create that gold puddle on the ground, of course. Then she's going to cast Mass Repentance. I'm not going to... Give me 1 second here.
Yeah.
You can actually fleshcraft Mass Repentance. I saw somebody do this, and you don't actually have to dip into the puddle at all. But whatever, just for the sake of consistency, if you get Mass Repentance, you dip into the gold and you dip back out.
Single stack and don't touch anymore.
Then you pop Lust, and you blow her up. She's much, much more easier to kill now. She puts a shield on herself. You have to kill the shield and then kick Holy Wrath, or you die. It's another one-shot. Go figure, another one-shot in Lower Karazhan. But the point is, it's way easier than it used to be. It's not really a problem anymore. Anyway, we're just pumping damage. We're doing 17k now. And she ends up going down really quick. So we end up killing her in like 1 minute and 30 seconds or something. And then we have 1.5 minutes left for 4% trash, which is actually perfectly fine. So we pull this trash here. We blow it up. And we end up getting the dungeon done. Woo!
It's fine.
One more mob.
We're good. We got it. Oh, I died. What did I die to?
I got Banshee Wailed at the end there.
Banshee Wailed did
Which is pretty cool.
75K.
So my rating's 22-26
Shit,
now, which
we
is
got
awesome.
25. How'd I get more than you, Joe? It's insane.
That-
37.
36.
Why do I always hate these razors?
Ooh.
And I did 20k overall, guys. So that's the dungeon. That's a couple of
Priority
hints
just went to like verse, right? It's funny. Eh?
on that's some of the hints for that dungeon. Let's go back here for a second. So again, that's Lower Karazhan. That's a 21 that we did. Let me just look at the over under on the damage that we did. It's going to be Flame Shock, Frost Shock, Chain Lightning, Lightning Bolt. It's going to be all your mastery benefiting spells. Fire, Frost, Nature damage, guys. Fire, Frost, Nature damage. You can see Flame Shock is really, really high because of Lashing Flames, because we were able to tab target so many times. And then obviously Hailstorm is carrying our Frost Shock damage really, really good. And then our spenders, Lightning Bolt and Chain Lightning, I'm just casting them all the time because we're generating so many stacks of Maelstrom weapon from Chilled to the Core. So Chilled to the Core with Frost Shock is the highest amount of Maelstrom weapon stack generation you can have in any Enhancement Shaman build. It's absolutely disgusting. It also cools down your wolves incredibly fast, which of course, let's look at the wolf uptime here. We had about 61% uptime on our wolves, which is basically means they're up all the time. Like they're just up all the time. If you take into account having to like run through the dungeon and not actually be in combat. So that's the dungeon, guys. That's my build. That was a plus 21 Lower Karazhan. Our rating now again is 22-26. We're getting up there now. It's a new week right now. I just got my Great Vault earlier today, and I actually got a 304 chest piece, which was good. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. What do you think about Lower Karazhan? Let me know about your strategies for trying to conquer it. If you're trying to get into it and trying to get a Lower Karazhan done, this is a great example of what you're going to need to do to be successful. We actually could have saved so much time here without dying, but we ended up dying like a bunch of times, and we were still successful in getting the dungeon down. So this is about the kind of damage that you're looking at that you're going to need to be successful. And on top of that, the strategies that we employed, making sure to kill the first boss and then everybody die and go the opposite route instead of having to deal with the really cancerous trash. You do end up skipping the major Dreadlord that's in there, the Dreadlord mini boss, but it's okay. You don't actually need it. It's not a big deal. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. I love you all, and I'll see you in the next one.